Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Pete and we are now on to part 3 of my record collection tour. So we finished up with Behemoth at the end of the last one, so moving on from there we'll just get right into it. And we have up first Beyond Creation, the Aura, technical death metal from Canada. These guys are just really cool. Managed to catch them in Melbourne a few years back. Spent a fair bit of time talking to Hugo, the bass player. Awesome guy, just really cool to sort of chat with. We're talking about his other band, Equipoise, and some other stuff like that. So have another Beyond Creation album. The first one was the Aura. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. This one's Algorithm. Yep, Algorithm. One of these was released by the Finnish label Blood Music and comes in a cool funky colour. But anyway, I'll move on from there. We have Black Sabbath, The Eternal Idol. It's probably a bit hard to see there. If I scoot a little bit closer, it'll be a bit easier to see. I think, who was the singer on this one? Came out like 87, might have been Tony Martin. I'm not too sure. It's not your traditional sort of Black Sabbath that everyone's familiar with, and to be honest, I'm not really even that familiar with. It was I bought a bundle of records off an old mate of mine, and that was amongst it, so I got it. Moving right along, we have Blind Guardian, A Night at the Opera. Awesome album. I've been listening to it in the car quite a bit lately. And then there was Silence, a lovely little 14-minute tune based on the Iliad, all about Trojan horse and Troy and so on. From there we have Bloodbath, Resurrection Through Carnage. This one's on red vinyl. I think this one was the original pressing, but it came out back in the early 2000s. Then we have my favourite Bloodbath, featuring Peter from Hypocrisy on vocals. This one's a Nessie Media, or you can probably guess from this Obi strip, Nessie Media from China release. The quality on these albums, releases, pressings, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely phenomenal. I think I've got two of their releases, but both have been absolutely awesome. Then the final Bloodbath album in my collection, I need to get the rest, but this is The Arrow of Satan Is Drawn. Was that one coloured as well? No, I think it's just black. Anyway, that's a cool one with now with Nick on vocals from Paradise Lost. Then moving right along, we have an FDR release of Bolt Thrower's Realm of Chaos. I need to actually get that out and spin it. It's got the classic World Eater and it's got all the Warhammer artwork. Good stuff. Bolt Thrower, War Master. This one's probably my favourite Bolt Thrower album. Just okay, when Cenotaph came out, I had a copy of this on tape, flogged it to death, but for some reason I never really got much of their other stuff back in the day. Then we have, is that the Peel Sessions? Yes, the Year 8 Peel Sessions. I need to give this one a spin as well. Live at the Grind Madness at the BBC. And finally, The Fourth Crusade. I think this is the original pressing that I scored in a collection of records that I again got off the mate. Then moving right along, we're getting into the real heavy stuff here. Bon Jovi, first album. It's actually got some really cool songs on it. I like the early Bon Jovi stuff, so sue me, I don't care if it's bad or not. And I also have ended up with 2 copies of 7800 Fahrenheit. I'm not sure. Just bought 2 complete collections and I ended up with 2 copies. Then we have Slippery When Wet. I need to do something about this because this album copy is actually warped and doesn't play properly, so I think I want to try that between between 2 60-degree heated pieces of glass just to press it down. I'll give that a go one day. Got to get some glass. Then we have New Jersey on picture disc. Probably their last, what I consider their last decent album, and then I've lost track of them since then. Moving along from there, we have Volknagar, the first album. This one was only just recently re-released, maybe last year. Comes with an extra disc of demos and stuff, you know, bonus tracks. I think there was some demo stuff in amongst it. Anyway, that was when Garm from Ulva was doing vocals. Then we have, I think I got the majority of the Volknagar stuff. I'm missing one, I think. The Olden Domain. From there, the Archaic Course, ICS Vortex, or Simon Histanes, or however you pronounce his last name, was on both. This one, I think he was on the Olden Domain as well. A lot of this stuff was re-released by Cosmic Key Creations, which is a great label for a lot of these represses. Quintessence, another one of them. They do some cool swells and stuff with their artwork, or with their pressings. Empiricism. I think this was the first one that had Vintersorg on vocals, if I recall correctly, before ICS Vortex came back into the band, and then there was the 2 vocalists, and I think one of the other guys was doing vocals as well. What one was this? Is this Origin? No, Epic. That's Origin there. I can't remember my covers. So yeah, there was Origin, still all stuff that was pressed by Cosmic Key Creations. Then we have Erd. This one, I think this was silver. I forget which pressings I got or picked out when I bought them. Then we have Winter Thrice. These guys are just great. I think Bard Kolstad drummed on that one. Maybe it was True North. I forget Bard from Leprous. Anyway, and then we have True North. There's got to be one that I'm missing. I can't think of what it is. I don't even have the CD of it. It was when they left Century Media, went to an obscure independent label. Then out of the B's, we're moving into the C's. We have Speed Metal Symphony by Cacophony, Marty that was later in Megadeth and so on, and Jason Becker. This album is just a shred fest. Absolutely brilliant guitar work on that. Both those guys were gods amongst men. And then we have their second album, Go Off. Again, awesome stuff. Singer was a bit how you going, but if you got that much guitar playing, who's going to want to sing over it? Then moving along, we have, and I was listening to this in the car on the way home from training tonight, In Contact by Caligula's Horse. Awesome Aussie prog metal band. I guess that's probably the best way to describe them. I checked them out on YouTube prior to seeing them support Nea Bluviscaris a few years back, and Beyond Creation and Allegiant and Rivers and Nile were all on the same bill, and I was like, when I actually listened to some stuff on YouTube, saw them live, blew me away, bought the CD straight away, and I've since sort of got it on record as well. Just awesome Aussie prog metal. And then the next album, Rose Radiant, This one's on a special transparent sun yellow. That was an Australian exclusive colour, I believe. Really cool. They do a Peter Gabriel and a Split Enz cover at the end of that. It's bonus tracks, which is really cool. Then getting a little bit heavier. This is the only Cannibal Corpse album that I own on vinyl. I've got a ton of this stuff on CD, different collections. The Wretched Spawn is my favourite album of Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, sticker strategically placed. Hopefully YouTube doesn't see too much of what else is going on in the cover, because they might ban me or something, I don't know. From there we have, they're not really a local band anymore, as they're now based in Melbourne, but the Captives, pretty good mates with these guys. Awesome sort of kind of Aussie punk, I want to say, sort of rock punk kind of crossover, just pretty raw, raucous sort of stuff. Waking the Dead, I think this was a compilation of 2 EPs that they did, and yeah, piled into one 12-inch. And then we have their Over the Rainbow album, which, because they're mates of mine, I bought 2 copies. This one is pressed on black vinyl, and you might even be able to see if I bring it up close, that one's pressed on like a hot pink, translucent or clear vinyl. Anyway, that gets me through part 3. So B, what was the first band? Beyond Creation, through to the Captives. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and take it easy till next time, and I'll be back. Oh, it's that way.